Hey guys, Brian Hill with The Complete Combatant. I've got the new CC9 from HK here. Just picked it up the other day, so doing a little shooting with it. Uh, it's a really nice little pistol. As you can see, it's very slim. It's not a very big gun, okay? But amazingly, even with the size of my hands, I can get a pretty good grip on this gun, and I don't seem to interfere with anything. I've got the Holosun on the top. I've got the big dot on this. It's a 407K. HK has a system where they're using, you can just directly mount it. So hopefully eventually have an SES for it, and that would allow me to use the sights also. It's got a dual mag release button, so whichever side the mag's on, you can release it either way that you do it. It's odd not having a paddle, but it's simple enough. I can do it with my index finger to release it, or I could do it with my thumb on this side, or I could do it with the index on this side. So that's nice. And this isn't meant to be a high round count gun where I spend just lots and lots of time on it, okay? It's stiff. I've probably only got about 30-40 rounds through this, so it hasn't really function test yet, but I'll tell you so far, no failures to fire or anything like that. Nice sights on it, good shape, and the trigger's pretty exquisite. I got to tell you, I just shot roughly a 1-inch group at 25 yards with Spear Lawman 124s, so it's a pretty interesting gun. I have never particularly liked narrow grip guns like the Shield, but I find this one shootable. Now, would I want to do 1,000 rounds for 2 days with it? No. Could I do it? Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you the hardest part is loading the magazines. You're going to want a mag lula because the springs are super tight on these. But a real shootable gun, very easy to conceal, fairly lightweight, good feel to it, you know, over 7 years in development. So it's a well thought out gun, and it's very shootable. All right, and I don't usually say that. I don't like smaller guns to shoot. It's not really my gig with big hands, but I like this gun a lot. It's a good gun, and I think it's going to fit a niche for a lot of you guys. I'm going to shoot a couple rounds so you guys can see the recoil pattern in it. It's snappy with Spear Lawmen, but those are pretty hot 124s, but it's nothing you can't control. So good shooting little gun, good recoil on it. Really got to focus on the left hand, make sure it's nice and strong. I'm almost to the end of the magazine. Let's see if it'll lock back for me. And good enough. All right. I'll say if you do a mag reload and you stay in this way, you may not be able to do it with the button like you practice, but there's plenty of room for an overhand. There's plenty for a forward pinch to release it. So it's good for that. All right. Let's see what my splits look like on this gun. So we'll just do a pattern drill. Sorry, I don't have magazine carriers or anything for this gun yet. So I can use that button. It's not easy though, not easy. All right, so we'll run this on the timer, see what my splits look like. Going to be shooting a couple to the alpha. It's about 6 yards right here. '40s. 35s, not bad for what it is. And the trigger is really very, very good on it. You can see there's not a real snappy recoil. It's a nice soft impulse to it in comparison. Now it does it turns right to where it wanted to be. So let's see what I got left here. Let's see if I can pick up the pace shooting quickly with this gun. All right, so yeah, those are all 25s, 20s, stuff like that, all in the alpha zone, and it locks back every time. But this is a great gun to fit that niche if you have a gun that you need to really conceal. I don't have a holster for it. I would show you, but it's so narrow and well thought out. It just feels real solid. Of course, it's got the red extractor mark on it, so you know when it's loaded. No indicator on the back, striker indicator like there's on the VP9, ambidextrous control, slide release on both sides, magazine release on both sides. Just a really well thought out, well executed gun. I know I'm sponsored by HK, but here's the big deal. How many brands are spending 7 years in development? Mostly they're rushing their guns to you as quickly as they can, and they let you do the work. So this is a good gun, and I would really trust this. Now I got a long way to go, so that puts me at probably 50 rounds or so through this gun at tops. I want to get 1,000 rounds through it, so I'll check back with you guys. But I think it's a very good gun overall. I really like it. I find it really shootable. I was able to, during the commercial, to draw it from a holster, and I found it a very good drawing gun. Even when you have big hands like I do, there seems to be enough space. You can see my pinky is on it, all right, and I got pretty big mitts here, so my pinky's on it, but I'd have to use the extended magazine for this. It's narrow, so I really have to focus on relaxing the right hand and pressing the left palm into the gun to get a good grip. Texturing's very nice on it. You have serrations front and back so you can get a good grip on it. I think it's a well executed gun. I really like it. I'm excited it's here, so I'll be bringing it to classes with me so you guys can try it out and see what you think. And if you have a particular need for a subcompact gun like this, and it would fit your daily carry, you can carry it with 10+1 or 12+1. 12+1 in a package this size is pretty effective. That's a lot of ammo to carry. And then the magazines themselves would be fairly easy. They're not super big. Okay, so you could easily conceal an extra magazine on you, so you could be well situated with a good gun like this. I'm going to show you that 25-yard group. I'm fairly impressed. The trigger is just exquisite on it. It's better than my VP9 trigger right now, to tell you the truth. And I had to pay more attention because it was much more gentler on the take-up. There wasn't an empty spot. I had to really pay attention. Let's look at the target real quick. All right, guys, so that's 3 rounds at 25 yards. That's incredible with a gun that size to shoot that. Now, it's only 3 rounds, so could Brian have gotten lucky? Of course he could have. But 3 good rounds here that are no more than the index length, so that's less than an inch at 25 yards. There's probably some good ammo in it and an exquisite barrel and a gun that was shootable, and a good dot from Holosun allowed me to do that. So something to think about. I'm going to keep working on it and see if I can do that anymore. All right, guys, I'm Brian Hill with The Complete Combatant, and as always, measure, refine, and perform.